Good question on 5x5. Earth Light. Hey, Matt, any tips for a 5x5 weighted calisthenics program? I've been meaning to make a video on this. I really should get on that. Do you think that modality is enough volume wise, or is a finisher phase necessary? No, I think 5x5 is one of those programs you just cannot go wrong with because it is a decent amount of volume. It's 25 total repetitions. And usually, whenever you're looking at programs that are kind of going after strength, building muscle type of thing, you'll find that the volume is always kind of in that mid 20 rep range. So 5x5 is fantastic. Usually when you're selecting your exercises for that, what you want to do is for the first 2 sets, you want to feel like you're definitely saving a bit in the tank. It's heavy, but it's not gassing you out by any stretch. The 3rd set is usually something like, okay, that's getting fairly heavy. I'm starting to really feel it. And then the 4th and 5th set should be feeling like you're really pushing yourself to the limits of your capability. So that's kind of how you want to program the weight or the level of resistance that you are using. You shouldn't feel like you get to set number 3 and then you think, I've got to decrease my resistance in order to get through the other sets. You can always add a finisher, but always remember that you can always do more work. When it comes to strength training or particularly going for hypertrophy, you can always make your muscles more tired. You can always do more work. The question is always, is it just worth it? Because the more fatigue you pile on the body, the more recovery you're going to need. The more you're going to potentially also impede your muscular ability over the next couple of days. So if you do a 5x5 and then you do a finisher, like several finishers, what are your muscles going to be like for soccer practice the next day? Always kind of keep in mind that little aspect of what is this doing for my muscles over the next couple of days? And am I okay with that? Because we can always make our muscles more fatigued. We can always make them more tired, but more fatigue and exhaustion does not always correlate very well to more hypertrophy. There definitely seems to be this line in the sand where you want to create enough fatigue in the muscle to stimulate hypertrophy. But once you've created a certain amount, and Lord knows what that is, but usually it's after pushing yourself fairly hard for several sets, more fatigue probably doesn't do you a whole lot of good. It's like pulling the trigger on a gun. You pull it hard enough to fire the bullet, but then squeezing the trigger progressively harder doesn't make the bullet like fly faster or anything like that. So we want to be aware of when we're burning out. Usually what I'm looking for is just a precipitous downgrade in my force output. So if I'm doing a finisher phase and I'm doing like, say, push-ups after some heavy weighted dips, then I should feel like I do let's say 20 push-ups. I'm just banging them out real quick. And if I'm like, should I get one more? Maybe I can get one more. And then I'd get down on the floor and my arms would immediately be like, oh God, dude, no, we're not doing 20, maybe 10 if we're lucky. You want to feel that fatigue build up real fast. If you're like, yeah, I did a finisher phase of 15 push-ups and then 15 and then 15 and then 15 and then 15. No, you're not pushing that hard. Because when you are pushing yourself to a really good degree of fatigue, the amount of energy output you have on subsequent sets should really sharply drop off. And so that's what you're looking for in those finisher phases and those finisher sets.